This episode is brought to you by Future Group, delivering smarter, safer, and more sustainable solutions for the built environment. From fire safety to lighting and electrical, cutting-edge EV charging, advanced security systems, regeneration works, and full-scale decarbonisation, we've got your property needs covered. Trusted by property managers across the UK. Visit future-group.uk. Future Group, leading today for a better tomorrow.
Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Four Walls, the podcast where we talk about realities of business, well-being and the challenges we navigate along the way. I'm your host, Jodie Fraser, and today I'm joined by the brilliant Samantha Tungate from Brady Solicitors, whose journey is one that so many working parents will relate to. Samantha's journey is one of balance, ambition and resilience, navigating mum life while carving out a career that truly aligns with her goals. And like many parents, she started by choosing roles that worked around nursery and school schedules, but as time went on, she felt the pull to return to the career path that truly fulfilled her. That shift, however, didn't come without its challenges, less industry experience, moments of self-doubt, and all that all too familiar imposter syndrome creeping in. And in this episode, we'll be unpacking Samantha's story, how she found the confidence to push forward, the lessons she's learned along the way, and her advice for others trying to balance family life with career aspirations. So whether you're a working parent, feeling stuck in a job that just fits, or battling self-doubt, this conversation is one you won't want to miss. So welcome, Sam. Lovely to meet you.
And you.
So do you want to just start really by sharing your journey into the legal profession, and is there something that particularly what made you specialise in property law?
I guess it would be a lot like other working parents or mums, getting back into things. I knew I wanted to get into business development just because prior to having my daughter, I was doing debt collecting. Really enjoyed that, but didn't want the sort of conversations in debt collecting. So kind of business development seemed like a nicer side of the similar sort of challenges and a mentality that I needed. With regards to like law and especially property law, that came about by chance via working for VST, like a telesales agency. Brady Solicitors was just one of the many ones that I called on behalf of. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, and then finally sort of got in with them directly. So sort of fell into it, but then did purposely choose to kind of reach out to them and spent a while speaking with them to see how I could come on board, remotely and that sort of thing. As they just sort of seemed a different, being an outsider, complete newbie to solicitors, law and stuff. They just seemed much more genuine and not the only solicitor experience I had when buying a house and everything was, yes, a 50-year-old dude that wasn't overly chatty and and very straight to the point. Just thought I'd fit quite well with them, and they had a business development opportunity as well, so it was great.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, it sounds like you even though you kind of sought them out, there was reasons behind that. So can you tell me a little bit about your current role within the firm? What do you do? How do you help the firm do what they do?
Yep. So I'm within the business development team, doing, you would say, like lead generation, SDR type role. So contacting prospects, having chats with them about how we could support them, with Brady's services, and kind of opening the doors, getting new people in, showing them how we partner with people, and how we are different within that property law side of things.
Yeah. So you mainly do service charge collection, is that right?
That is our bread and butter. We deal with like breach of lease, leaseholder disputes and RTMs and that sort of stuff as well. But yes, service charge recovery is our bread and butter. It's what we do and do well, if I can put that in there.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. As you said earlier with the debt collected, it's not the easiest thing to do. And when you're dealing with sort of service charge, you're dealing with potentially people losing their homes because you might have to get to the point of forfeiture or anything like that. I mean, how do you have to get involved with that, or are you sort of just selling the service of it?
Yeah. So I'm not involved in that back end. Those conversations that I wanted to get out of from nationwide debt collecting days, as that was on
Yeah.
mortgages, so it
Yeah,
was
right. Oh,
very, very similar.
yeah.
Yeah, calls a week before Christmas about evictions and stuff were not nice. So yeah, so I'm now front end. Literally, could be the very first somebody's heard of Brady or checking calls. So opening that initial door, having the conversation about how we partner with people, how different we are to our competitors and the way we work. So it is that very first conversation,
Yeah.
and then having an account manager sort of on board with people and going to things in more detail, really.
Yeah.
So I'm the door opener,
You're the
we'll
door
call it.
opener. Oh, so if I came to you, well, you spoke to me on the phone and you said, this is what we do, this is what we can help with service charge
Mhm.
disputes and that sort of thing. What approach would you initially take with clients? Is it, that hard line straight away? Is it compassionate? How do you do it?
Consultative selling, basically just genuine conversations. I'm not here to go, right, what arrears have you got? Pass them over to us, or
Hmm.
badger somebody until they just give in and have a meeting with us,
Hmm.
and don't really want anything or haven't got use for our services. So really, from the debt collecting days, as much as doing that from 16 was harsh, it has learnt me to have a genuine and open conversation with somebody.
Hmm.
The whole active listening and that side of things. So it would literally be more of a, here's what we do, service charge arrears, and go into that sort of thing. And then it's more asking questions about how do you currently deal with them. Obviously, you're going to have your in-house team that
Yeah.
deals with them. It's after it goes further than them. We're obviously not looking to replace that sort of team. We're just there to partner with you should our services be needed after that. And
Yeah.
going into, like our speed of recovery, 35 days on average. And so going into our unique points and what makes us good within the
Mm.
industry. And then if there's a genuine interest, yeah, okay, have a meeting with my colleague. He can go through onboarding
Hmm.
and get everything ready should our services be needed, either at that point or in the future. So
Yeah.
yeah, very, very conversational rather than, selling unfortunate double glazing, knocking on
Oh,
people's doors where you can't
nobody
feel
wants
like you can
that.
shut the door.
Absolutely. Well, I think nobody wants that approach either.
No.
There's so many. I mean, I'm not a salesperson. It fills me with dread to think about picking up the phone and doing a cold call. It makes me, I can feel the sweats coming out now. It's not my bag at all. Yeah, it's not my thing. But, I guess from a conversational point of view, I am technically a salesperson because, I'm in business and,
Yep. Everyone's
people.
selling something.
Yeah, but I don't. Well, I can't. No cold calling for me. Thank you very much. So if I came to you and said, you know what, I'm just really struggling with this one client. They owe 8 grand, but every other solicitor is, just not really helped or anything like that. Would you just take the one, or do you have to have like a minimum
No,
client
not yeah.
base?
One is absolutely fine.
Hmm.
It could be one, it could be 50, 70 per year. That's where we kind of want to come across that we do want to partner with people. So that is the difference. It's not, okay, we'll do onboarding with you as long as you send us 10 every month.
Right.
So yeah, sort of just putting out there, we had our client survey at the beginning of the year,
Hmm.
and it was, off of the top of my head, I think it was like either 70 or 75% of our clients said that they class us as a partner rather than, oh, we need the solicitor,
Mm.
let's go and instruct them. And that was very loosely, we literally just put, do you class us as a partner? So that was their own
Yeah.
variation on what they thought of that. But yeah, that's what we say. We're here when you need us. Even if it's to go through your internal credit control processes and have a look and see what can be made a bit more efficient for you guys, you would kind of think, well, that might take work away from us, because if we make the internal process more efficient, then potentially it's not going to come to us. But
Yeah.
yeah, managing agents are our clients, and managing agents have their own clients.
Mm.
Everyone wants to keep their client happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not just all about just come to us when you need us. will get the job done and inform you at some point along the way.
And it's nice to hear that it's more collaborative in that respect,
Hmm.
because ultimately, if you came into my business and said, actually, if you did X, Y, and Z, then that would make A, B, and C much easier for you.
Yep.
The next time I have I don't know, a legal dispute to deal with, or or something where I need a solicitor, the first
Yep.
person I'm going to think of is you, because you've
Yeah.
helped me to do something where you had absolutely no gain from it,
Yeah.
and you just did it because actually it helped the process, and then it's that collaborative approach that I really
Yeah.
like. So yeah, fair play.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Just trying to build partnerships rather than, yeah.
Selling
And
stuff.
exactly, yeah, and that is my thing. I know I said previously, like I stumbled into Brady's, which I did, but it is that whole side of things, just being much more personable, having a
Yeah.
relationship rather than, yeah, just
Mhm.
knock on our door when you need us, and you'll never hear from us in the meantime. Like, we
Yeah.
do check-ins with clients and that sort of stuff, just to see how things are going in the meantime.
Yeah, well, that's definitely
Yeah.
it puts you up there with the best of them. So yeah, well done. And
Thank you.
if you don't mind, if we can just
Mhm.
reflect on your personal journey a little bit into
Yeah.
back into work after having it. Is it just one daughter you've got?
Yep.
Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Your personal journey. How did you manage the transition from, sort of are you part-time now or are you full-time now?
I'm not. Yeah, I am full time.
Full time, yeah. So how did
Yeah.
you how did you go from part time around the school runs and nursery runs and all that kind
All
of
of that.
stuff back into the crazy world of full time? How you do
Yes.
it? How are you doing? Are you okay? Is probably probably the first question I should ask.
All is good. All is good. Yeah, which I do, and that's the thing. I have Brady's to thank for that, and I guess you could say I have COVID and all of that remote working world
Mm,
to thank for that as well. Yeah, previously, she went to nursery at 9 months. It was a get back into work, as there weren't any, like, I think you get like two free nursery days or something a
hmm.
week now. I don't know what it is, but that wasn't happening back then. I felt like I couldn't stay at home, not with her or anything, but when you're like, you just feel like you need to pull your weight.
Hmm.
I guess that's when the imposter syndrome then came in later
Yeah.
on. That's just that side of me. So yeah, I mean, other half, he was working all hours he could and weekends and that sort of thing. So working part time then fit, like you say, how many mums are flying around doing nursery and dad's
Mm,
nursery school run and then doing a 10 till 2 generally job.
yeah.
So that's where I was doing, yeah, like half 9, I think half 9 till half 2 or something,
Hmm.
from when she was 9 months until when she was, I don't know, about 13 or 14.
Okay.
So from then, it was just find a job that fits. And it
Hmm.
did. I worked at our local general hospital doing appointments and finance for them.
Yeah.
All fit really well. And then COVID came along. Because I was at the hospital, I still had to work from the hospital while everybody else was remoting.
Of course. Yeah.
Um, But it was thanks to that obviously so many companies went remote and then started advertising for remote work
Yeah.
generally,
Yeah.
rather than it just being because of the whole lockdown. So then I thought, well, she's like doing her last year or so of secondary school, old enough for me to drop off a bit earlier so that I could work full time and that
Yeah.
sort of thing. Found a role with VST, so that their main thing anyway is employing mums. That is what they do. That's
Okay.
what they put out there. That they look for, working mums. They were offering a partially remote thing. It was like twice a week in the office.
Okay.
The rest was remote. So and full time. So bumped my wage up
Hmm.
from from the 5 hour a day type wages. Started there. That's a telesales agency, like I say. Really loved it because that's what I knew. I was like, okay, I absolutely love the hospital. It worked for all of those years, but I still had the drive and challenge sort of mentality that I did from when I was debt collecting. So I thought, well,
Yeah.
sales, yeah, like debt collecting without that horrendous conversation of evictions.
Oh
So
gosh, I don't know how you do it. It's making me feel funny just thinking about it. But how did you, so you said then you experienced imposter syndrome.
Mm.
Is that when you went full time, or is that just in general, like balancing the whole motherhood and
Um,
working thing?
yeah, I think it was when I went full time at the hospital. I knew my role. I felt safe, if you like.
Mm, yeah.
You know, that job where I know it, I do what I do, I have no stress, you know, and I don't think about it at all when I go home. So quite lucky. Not many jobs like, you know, you're not
Mm,
really thinking about after clock out time. So absolutely fine. And then that was the thing that I was kind of like, right, I'm 34 and I'm going into a completely new sort of career path, a
yeah.
completely new industry. Yeah, just that panic sort of set in, even though I
Mm,
knew I was good at debt collecting. So nothing was ever going to be as hard as those conversations. But
yeah.
it was still that, oh my goodness, am I up to it? But then also sitting there amongst people that had just walked in the job that are 10 years younger than me because they've not had the motherhood sort of so early on. I was 20 when I had our daughter and that, so didn't build up a career beforehand. So yeah, it sort of kicked in then, I would say, and then potentially just built and built and built from that point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how did you deal with it? I mean, was it just a case of, you just got on with it, but not that I, advocate for the just getting on with it attitude, but how did you overcome it? Or have you
I
overcome
think
it?
at that point, I didn't. I just carried on.
Mm,
I was like, I think because when you're in like a business development or a sales type role, you know, it's always the next target, and
yeah.
you're concentrating on that all the time. So it was just put my head down and get on with it, do what I need to do. It's only really been recently. I went to after VST. I was there for I don't know, a year or two there, and knew that I definitely wanted to stay within sales because that was my like sort of, I don't know, pivotal moment of
Hmm.
right, let's try it there. It's a telesales agency, so I'm going to be calling on behalf of all different types of companies. I'll get a feel for what I like and
Yeah.
then move forward. So then I went to work for Thrive, a mental health company, but within their sales team.
Mm,
And that's when, as much as loved my colleagues, you know, had a really good manager and stuff, yeah, like imposter syndrome just scaled up a notch, I
right.
think, because it was right. Okay, I'm working for you. I'm literally doing your sales. If I don't do this at VST, there was a number of us calling for the same companies
Mm,
and for companies that generally have their own internal sales. This was now like, right, I'm basically responsible for your new business
hmm.
and a company has to have new business to run. So
Yeah.
at that point, it was great. I've got a higher wage, you know, I'm in with one company. However, I feel like the whole company now rests on my shoulders.
Okay.
Don't know whether that's usual mum thing of I need to take everything on and
Well,
look
maybe.
after everyone, or whether it's just I have no idea, just a me thing.
No, I think it does hit everyone, and having that level of responsibility on your shoulders, I completely understand why you probably thought, oh, who am I to do this? I can't do this.
Yeah, yeah,
I completely get it. It's
yeah,
um it's
yeah.
not it's not an easy thing to get through.
That's it. But yeah, I mean, I had a one of my managers there. She was really good. She was like, you know, just remind that person when you're telling yourself that why are
Mm.
you speaking up in a meeting when you don't have all these years behind you? Who are you to come out with these ideas, sort of thing? Or you're on the first level, yet the whole team is male of sales, and then I guess in a lot of like, you know, legal and lots of industries are male dominated. Sales definitely is. The people who are a step above me, the like AEs or account managers, they're all the same age as me, but
Hmm.
male, and they're
Right.
already like that much further ahead of me. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, I'm potentially being seen as the bottom rank
Right.
because obviously I've come in on that, but then also, who am I as that rank to come out with an idea, even though I have
Mm.
the same life experience and whatnot as those above me?
Yeah.
it took a lot, and then it's actually only been the beginning of this year. I think, like, my dad's great, other half's great. He sends me things every now and then. Like literally last week, he was like, I'll just get a random text, and it's either like a reel or a thing, and he's like, "Comparison is the thief of joy." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay, yeah, thank." He would just send me random things. I'm like, "Yes,
Oh,
remind yourself of that." But yeah, it's been only recently. I've been at Brady's, yeah, only this quarter, but have gone in, and that was a boost that I needed to give myself anyway. Brad, who I'd worked with at VST, obviously we'd worked indirectly with each other there. We'd been speaking for a few months and stuff, and he was saying about the role that was available. And yeah, got it agreed for it to be remote because that's the only way I can do full time. I mean, they're based up in Nottingham and I'm not nearby anyway. But with autistic child and college runs and that sort of stuff, I have to be here for college runs, which
yeah.
working remotely is the only way I can do a drop off and then I'm home. I haven't got a half hour, 45-hour drive to an office. So,
Yeah. There's a lot to be said for remote working, but I think what you also need to
yeah,
remember is that even if you don't have the career experience behind you, all of that experience that you've just explained then about, right, the logistics of getting your child to school and to college and to, I'm sure she's going to be having driving lessons soon or whatever,
yes,
trying to, and you're thinking, yes, I don't have to drive her around everywhere. But, all of that logistical side of things. And you said that your daughter's autistic as well,
yeah,
navigating that's a job in itself.
it's a lot
As well as,
sometimes.
exactly. And as well as, your own mental health and keeping your household going and being a partner and, all of that
Yeah,
stuff, you don't discount yourself for not having career experience when actually you could probably run rings around a lot of people because of the life experience that you've got. So, yeah,
yeah. My previous manager would say, he's like, your organisational skills and your attention to detail on a spreadsheet and things like that. It's like,
absolutely.
yeah, it's yeah, mum life, wife life, household life, dog owner life, like
Well,
all of
there you
those
go.
things, isn't it? It's
Yeah, absolutely. And you've
you've
got
got
it
all these
nailed.
tick lists.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
and you've got it down. So yeah, kick that imposter syndrome out the window. And somebody that I know, the lovely Louis May Gibson, said to me once that she thinks that imposter syndrome was made up by a man, basically to make us feel inadequate or whatever. But brilliant. But are there any strategies, I guess, that you can recommend or think of that you find effective in managing your work life with your home life?
I am an organised person, I think
Hmm.
anyway. Whether that's naturally or whether that is just because it's been, yeah, work,
Mm,
home,
yeah.
child, dog,
Yeah.
husband. Um, so yeah, I do just try and keep on top of things. And it is a reminder every now and then to yourself that, yeah, I've got this. And I do, whether it's because of trying to do everything at home or because of the sales mind that I have of push, 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 go, 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 every now and then I do have like a bit of a dip week.
Hmm.
Husband knows about it. And he's kind of like, okay, you've just gone like way too far for about 5 weeks, just trying to be absolutely everything. So I guess yeah, it's just giving yourself that reminder. I would say that you don't need to do the hoovering all the time. Like that can wait, or this can wait, or I don't need to do 60 calls today. Like I'm on top of it. You don't need to put 120% in all the time. Yeah, I would kind of say organisation skills and reminding yourself
Yeah, I mean,
not to do everything.
I was going to say about your well-being though, because like you just said there,
Mm,
okay, what have you got in the tank today? Do you
yep,
have to make those 60 calls? Can the hoovering wait?
yeah,
Can the food shop wait? Can we just manage with what we've got in the freezer for the next couple of days? Because
yeah.
I really just don't have that energy or I need to do X, Y, and Z, but do I have the bandwidth or the headspace to actually deal with it? And it's recognizing those signs, isn't it? And how are you with that? Do you recognize the signs or do you hit a wall before you realize?
I'd like to say I recognise the signs. I probably recognise the signs when I'm trying to climb the wall, or
Mm,
trying to get through that wall.
let me
Yeah,
out, let me out,
yeah,
kind of thing. So is it the window, like, trying to please
yeah.
let me out. I don't know what's going on.
Don't really know where I am or what I'm doing now. yeah. I'd love to say like, oh yeah, I pace myself and I do all of this. Like, I could talk all of that talk, and I know it in my head. But yeah, it still happens. Just when you kind of like, oh, that's it. Husband's 40, like next week, sort of thing. It's like, right, got to do this, got to do that, and
Yeah.
you add those things on to yourself. I don't actually need to do this, that, and the other. But
No.
yeah, it's just adding those things onto that to-do list, I guess, and reminding myself that I don't need to, or they
Yeah.
can wait for next month's to-do list.
Yeah, they can. And, and it's having the awareness of that, isn't it? You don't have to be on it all
Yeah,
of the time. Just look after yourself. Just from this conversation alone, I can tell that you clearly spend a lot of time looking after everybody else. So make sure that you look after
I
you
am one of
too.
them.
Yeah, but look after,
Yeah,
and as mothers we are, as women and, all of those things. But
yeah.
is there any advice that you could give to other parents, and not necessarily just mothers, other parents who are re-entering the workforce? Any advice there?
I would kind of, you need to, like everybody says, if you enjoy what you do, you don't work a day in your life and that sort of thing. But that doesn't always work. You need
Mm,
something that fits money wise. You need something that fits time wise, and all of that sort of stuff. I'm glad I went to the hospital, done the part-time thing. Fair enough. I wasn't getting a big career at the time, but it fit with life. It
yeah.
fit with home life. So I'd say that is just really important. And as much as I'm sitting here now going, oh my goodness, there's people that are same age as me who have 15 years more experience, and I could be manager level by now if only I'd gone straight into this sort of role. I wouldn't change it because it worked. I didn't go
Mm,
home with stress. It worked with nursery runs, it worked with school runs. The money was all right, it's not full
hmm
time, but it outweighed if I was trying to do the job I am now and the career path I want to go down now and further in business development. I wouldn't have been able to handle it 100%.
No.
I couldn't have done that with a small child.
I've got a
So,
small
so yeah,
child, so she's 5 and I'm
bless.
42 in October. But I think,
It's not that old.
it's well, I feel old. I feel about 85. But no, genuinely, it is hard, and you have to do whatever fits with your family and whatever fits with
Yeah.
your family life.
Hmm.
What is it? It's never too late to do anything.
Yeah.
It's never too late to start a different career journey or a different career path, or even have more children if you wanted to. It's
Yeah.
you're probably thinking, I'm not having any more children. But no, it's that mindset, and it's whatever works for you, and it doesn't matter about the judgy pants people of the world, and it doesn't matter
Yep.
what other people think. It is whatever works for you, your husband, and your daughter at the end of the day.
This is it. Like you say, there's always time. Like I compared to yourself sort of thing, I had her at 20.
Mm,
So now I'm 38 later on this year. I can now start doing the career. I didn't build that up beforehand. You've got to the place you have. I would like, and that's it in my eyes. I'm like, that's it. You've made it.
oh,
You've
bless
got
you.
to that peak sort of thing. But that's the thing. You've done that prior to having her, and now I assume, I hope you've like slowed down a bit to do home
Oh, don't
life
be so
more.
silly. But no, I get what you're saying, because but it doesn't matter which path you
It
take
works
or
either
which
way.
way around you do it.
Hmm.
It's
Yep.
whatever works for you, and some people just don't want to follow the career path of
Yep.
somebody else they see, or they start down that career path and think, actually, that's a bit crap. I don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
So it's all a balancing act, and it's all what I think what we have to take on board is it is our lives, and it doesn't
Yep.
matter what other people think, because it's
Yeah.
about us, and
100%.
other people don't pay our mortgages, do they? So it's it's what
Unfortunately not.
no, it'd be nice if they did, but no, it's
Yeah.
it's
Could
it's about
somebody?
yeah, right. But it is about what we want as people, not about
Hmm.
other people's opinions. But going
Yeah.
back to work a little bit, if you don't mind, is there
Yep.
a common misconception that leaseholders have about their rights potentially? I mean, I know you don't do the back office side of things. So coming back to work a little bit, then what motivates you daily in your role, and how do you maintain a passion for it?
Mainly, and I think this is with anybody in business development, potentially anybody working anywhere is trusting what you're selling, how you're helping, what you're doing daily. Yeah, I believe in the services that we provide. It sounds like a very odd thing to say, but I like that we partner with people. So when I'm doing my phone calls or emails and speaking with people, introducing them to us, it's knowing that, okay, yeah, I'm hitting my target, but I'm also helping them out. So I'm making your service charge recovery, your, RTM process, breach of lease, or however we're helping you. I know that we are supporting that company. So, and I think that's mainly within any business development role. Yeah, if you don't believe what you're calling about, you're not going to have the genuine conversation. Nobody's going to trust you because you're not putting that over in the conversation. So yeah, it's just believing in what we do as a law firm and the results we achieve and portraying that across. And I do just have a bit of a mentality for a challenge. I like a role with some form of drive. I just have that anyway. So yeah, just believing in what we do, having that mindset, I guess, of wanting to hit that next target, and every bit of outreach I do, that could be the one. This could be like a really good partnership for us and for them,
Yeah.
After having a phone call of somebody sitting there going, do you know what, actually, I've got, okay, so it was a few weeks ago, not mention any names or anything, spoke to a director of a managing agent. He'd done it all himself. And he had just had his 81st birthday, 81, running his property company. I know. And it was like speaking to a granddad. I don't have my granddad anymore, but it was like speaking to your granddad on the phone sort of thing. And he was like it is a lot trying to just speak with, his clients, keeping everybody happy. But then he was saying, obviously it causes cash flow problems, having service charge arrears and that sort of thing. He was like, and the paperwork, he said, now it's all online, bless him. Now it's all online. It's so much more confusing than when it was just filling in a piece of paper and stuff. And I was like, look, I would love to take this off your hands. We can help you. And not just saying it because, let's get the business. It was we can help him. We can get a quick recovery. We're efficient and that sort of stuff. So it was just that feeling of, I've booked a meeting, great, but we're going to really help him out. It's one massive job that he doesn't have to deal with. So basically that is that's job satisfaction to me. And why I like doing it is supporting people.
Yeah, well, that's a lovely story, but also 81. My goodness.
Tell me about it. I know. I was like, and he said, my son sometimes helps out. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And could not believe it. Yeah, 81 he was.
And he does it all by himself?
All on his own. He does everything. I couldn't believe it. It was a lovely conversation. I could have just spoke to him for ages.
Do you know what? I find that about the older generation anyway, that they're just really lovely to speak to because they're just so, their life experience as well as everything that comes with it, they're just nice people. It's that generation, isn't it? It's like, as you say, like talking to your granddad, and I don't have my granddad either. So yeah. Oh, bless. That's really sweet. Back to you and your professional goals within the company. I'm not going to do the where do you see yourself in 5 years' time or any of that stuff, but do you have any professional goals that you'd like to hit? I know you've only just started, so
yeah, and that's the thing, I think, with that, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time anyway? I'm organised, but I'm organised to what I do now. I do not plan that far ahead. I just definitely want to progress. A lot of people, and this is where I've been having my own sort of conversations in my head anyway, that a lot of people progress from opening those initial doors in an SDR sort of role into account management. I don't know why a lot of people move into either an account executive, doing demos and that sort of thing, or an account manager looking after those clients. I'm just not sure because, and this is the thing, even now, even though, yes, people would see it as, well, you're only at the first stepping stone of a sales career. Because of how I like working, the drive, the challenge, getting targets and that sort of thing, I like this role. and I like where it sits in a company. So I guess it would be a matter of, I don't have aspirations to move into an account executive or an account manager, because there's not as much drive as what I need at the moment. Okay. Maybe, and that's potentially the thing, isn't it? Because I'm 10 to 15 years behind those people, maybe in 10 years, I might at that point go, oh my God, I've had enough of new business and trying to constantly bring that in. But at the moment, whether there's a role of, I mean, you have like business development managers, so it's still the same new business, but just moving up a scale.
But I think if, as you say, if you move into sort of the account exec type roles, you're not going to get that buzz of getting that new business, because that new business is already coming into your pipeline, if you like, that you're doing the demo to, or that you're already looking after. You're going to lose that buzz. And if that's what drives you, I'm not suggesting that you stay where you are, but but sort of in that career path where you're going to still get that buzz that you enjoy.
Yeah, just a slightly different route to, I guess, what most people would move or want within sales.
Well, you could just maybe manage a team of like what you're doing now, but you manage that team, but also have your own little targets to do as well, or you can carve out your own career path.
I mean, that's been the good thing. Like Brad, he heads up like business development, and the role was vacant for a while before I came in. So it's been good to sort of, it has been a bit of like a start afresh. I've already been doing, I've been there 3 months, and not just doing the service charge type conversations, but looking into estate referrals as well. So moving into conversations about that as well. So even just within these first 3 months, it's already being a broader SDR role than normal. So while that continues, it's good. And then I'm sure Brad will be open to conversations in the future about what happens next.
Well, absolutely. It's all about proving yourself, and then that's half the battle, isn't it? So
it is, yeah.
But anything you'd like to add before we finish off?
There was one thing that I did actually write down, because would never ever remember a whole sentence. Sort of, it was on the back of the imposter syndrome thing, and like the last 3 months that being at Brady's and my conversations with Brad and that sort of thing, I'm really trying to like kick the imposter syndrome stuff away, just reminding myself that, not saying I just do this, just like that word that we just put on ourselves, I'm just a stay-at-home mum, I'm just an SDR sort of thing, just taking away from the worth that we have. So working along that, I came across David Coleman. He's on LinkedIn. I came across him via like a mutual friend, ex-Royal Marine, now does some like mental health and inspiring talks and stuff. So he hated public speaking, and I'm just going to rob basically his whole post. He hated public speaking and has always had a stammer. So obviously, anxiety and everything, even though being in the Marines and accomplished all of this career. So he was really, really worried, was going to do a talk to however many people suffering with anxiety, imposter syndrome. But he then wrote on there that he reminded himself, no one is more qualified or experienced to talk about my experience than me. And at that moment, I was the most qualified person in the room to do this. It's just sort of like even this chat with you, I have been so anxious all week about it. You. And it's like, but I really, really wanted to do it, because it was something that I'm like, right, getting over all of that. I can talk. I talk to people for a living. So why can't I talk to you about me? And again, it's just that light bulb moment of, I can do this. When you're sitting there worrying about things, I do now say to myself, I'm like, if my daughter came to me with this problem, would I speak to her how I'm telling myself that I can't do it? Not a chance. No. Not a single chance. So that is my kind of thing at the moment. I can post on LinkedIn. Nobody's gonna say who are you to be writing about this? You know, I know my experiences and what I want to put out there and that sort of stuff. Nothing political or boring. So don't worry about that. It's just nice stuff. Dog stuff mainly.
Well, do you know what? They say stay away from politics and religion and you'll be fine.
There you go. Yeah, see? So I'm okay.
Yeah. You've done amazingly well. I'm so pleased that you agreed to do the podcast. Thank you so much for your time. You've been great.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad I made it through.
Thank you so much for your time. You've been wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my latest podcast. You can find me on LinkedIn and Instagram. The links are in the show notes. Or you can contact me on jodie@jodiefraser.com. For more content and updates, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on your favourite platforms. Thank you once again for listening. Until next time, take care.